This is a pest control video. Do not watch if you might be offended. This squirrel turned up within a couple of minutes of me setting up. Didn't much like the look of the way that one fell, so I think I'm going to have to check my zero. Best way to do that is to take a couple of shots at the spinner on the side of the feeder. Well, definitely a problem there. Time to put up a target and check zero properly. Well, here we go. Let's see what happens. Well, not much doubt that that needs adjusting. I always check zero the night before I go out. I've obviously knocked the rifle in the car. Second squirrel of the day. Rifle now zeroed. Can be confident there won't be a problem with this squirrel. Not much doubt about that. I did go and check on where the first squirrel was, but I couldn't find it. There's just too many nettles around. I'm pretty certain that it would have been a kill shot, but it would have run on a little bit. Lesson to check against the spinner straight away. This squirrel went down to the feeder, wasn't very happy, went back up the tree. These leaves are actually halfway between me and the squirrel. I think I might actually have clipped them there, but there's no doubt that the squirrel was hard hit because it went straight down to the ground, and after a little bit of thrashing around, was stone dead. These smaller squirrels always seem to thrash around a lot with a headshot. Don't know why that is. The fully grown adults don't do it so much. I'm using my DS3570 scope. I sold the MV008. I think I made a mistake in getting the 70. I think a 50 for this shooting would have been better. It'll certainly be good using this on my 2.2 rimfire and possibly on my 223, but I might have to invest in the DS3550 for the squirrels and the rats. We'll see. More money. I know there's one there somewhere. I saw it coming down the tree. Ah yes, here it is. There must be another squirrel up the tree looking at this. It's definitely up there looking at something. Waited a little bit too long. There's definitely another squirrel there somewhere, probably the one that the other one was watching, because it is only a minute or so later. I glimpsed it briefly. I think it must have gone behind the tree. Yep, there we go. Must have gone down on the ground. Another half grown. So they all count. Do find the small ones take more notice of the squirrels on the ground. They're obviously a lot less confident than the fully grown adults. Definitely going to have to cut these nettles back again. They're a real pain at the moment. I've always fed wheat in the feeders, but over this summer and most of last winter, the squirrels seem to have lost interest in it, so I'm now feeding peanuts, but they're going down so fast that I had to put lids on the feeding trays. Made them out of perspex. Didn't take long for the squirrels to know what to do with them, and certainly they are coming into the feeders much more than they were. I thought that squirrel was going to need a backup shot, but it fell down behind the trunk. I went straight out to check on it, and by the time I got there it was stone dead. Trouble is, if they're not actually on the feeder holding a nut, they can move their heads quite rapidly. I tend to try and restrict myself to shooting squirrels that are actually feeding, but with these small ones, they do mess around a lot, so sometimes you just have to take the shot where you can. Much prefer it when they just sit there having a little munch. Particularly the way this feeder is set up, I've got a good straight on shot most of the time. The only issue I have is that the sun is behind the tree, and it can affect the aperture on the sight. But too much hassle to move the feeder and the hide I'm in. the hide's made up out of old fence panels, so it'll be a bit of a nightmare to move it to a different position. Very comfortable hide, nice and dry. Got a nice office seat in there. Took that idea from Robin Foxer, except he carries his out every time. Couldn't be asked to do that, so it's a permanent fixture. See there how easily they've got used to the little lid on the feeder. I think one of the other dead squirrels must be there. It's quite interested in it. Head doesn't stay still long enough to take a shot, at least not to be confident in taking one. Well, not a bad session. I expected to get half a dozen when I set out, but in fact got 11, plus the first one, which I think is almost certainly dead, but couldn't find back in the nettles.